So, last statement on this era of seeing. I think this is maybe a 3-part series. I'll probably break it down in a 1-minute video. So just bear with me if you're follow my page and you start seeing little snippets. And I post those snippets everywhere. I'm on YouTube. I'll be on Skyline in just a second. Red Note, all the apps. But I want you during this era of having an increased ability to see, to begin to look for. I want you to stare at something with me, and I need you to bear witness to it, because as you guys know, I am a far-seeing person with extrasensory capacities. I call it that because I am doing what many understand as being a living epistle, because I'm trying to a living testimony to future, because where far-seeing people are going, the whole classification, and I'm only referring to the people who are actually have skills, actually have extrasensory capacities. We're gonna move into where that's just normal. So when I talk to you about it's all just reality, it's all just normality, and that the problem is that human beings were hobbled, right? And so we're being evolved back into what we were originally could have been and slated to be. And some people will tell you the original way in which we were created. But so I myself am just trying to walk that out to help to kind of prepare you guys. It's called being a forerunner. And so I'm doing it to help people to understand, as I've talked to you about, there are children coming who, I mean, you can see it even in the space of neurodivergence, to where these people have these capacities. And so we have to create a foundation for them to be able to stand on. So people like me have to walk around telling people it's just, you're receiving data that you're able to utilize, like any analyst, to be able to predict. Okay. You're not always going to be 100%. We aren't all able to perceive the fullness of reality. Some of us have greater access to it. And what I'm calling reality is the stuff that most people call supernatural. It's a shame that we are there and that we have wasted so much time on things being considered supernatural that are literally just natural. And that a lack of education, a lack of an ability to document, and to correctly perceive. And then once you perceive reality, your ability to describe what you saw, go back and look at the prediction series, in which I give you a basic understanding on prediction. That future is made available in the same way a film is made available. I'm just using that as a metaphor. And that people who are able to go and see that film, they will see it. And then those people then will, as we usually do when we go to the movie theater, they'll go and tell other people about what they saw. That's where the prediction part comes in, because people who are able to see that movie that was released, they'll see it. Now, the distortion comes in. Go watch my series on distortion. The distortion comes in when the person who was able to see the movie, the distortion comes in what they remember about the movie and how they describe the movie, because you can distort what you see. You can say that, you know, that Trump is going to be president, you know, it's going to be twice, but the distortion comes in when you see that as a good thing. And the distortion comes in because a person is supremacized, their worldview causes them to twist and interpret what they saw and to relay what they saw in distorted ways. Go back and watch that. That is, and I've only given you just a little bit on that. That's a master class in the making for you all. But I'm not going to give you all of it. 1, because it's master class. 2, people need just a little bit. I'm a well-educated person, and so I often, and then I've made a career in explaining complicated things to people who don't have the same education, don't have the same background. So I've had to realize, especially in the age of the internet, is that most people have like a sixth grade level reading capacity and understanding capacity, which means that things that I talk about go right over people's heads, right? So I try not to sit at my desk and have books around me, because it automatically makes a person think, when I'm in my office area, that what I'm saying is too complicated. But take in what I just said about future prediction and distortion. Okay. The reason why I am trying to give people a primer and a basic understanding of future, and I'm constantly telling people you have to think critically about, analyze, and audit these people who say they're far seeing and can predict the future. You need to, instead of just being amazed by their personality and their showmanship, and how they're able to sell to you and entertain you with what they're saying, you need to pay attention to how correct they are. And then you need to see, because in real time, people who follow Christian prophecy were able to, in real time, be able to see how the distorted perspective of the people who are calling themselves prophets, how distorted that is by Christian nationalism, by bigotry, by supremacy, by love of capitalism, and that those people were really just giving predictions for profit. They're prophets for profit. And so that distortion that came about, and you see it in the tarot space, in the astrology space, in any space in which capitalism is running rampant and bigotry is running rampant, you're getting distorted predictions from people, because again, it's prediction is like that metaphor I gave you about the future is there. And those of us who know, it's really just all past, present, and future is all just sitting in the ever present. Human beings have been made to they've got clay vision. They've been made to perceive that time is linear when it's not. And they've been trapped into a cycle of 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 365 days, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And it trains the mind to limit and blind you, right, as to how it blinds you as to reality. You're taught you only have 5 senses, and things only exist if you can see them. And you have been resigned to those people. It's like the cave dwellers in Plato's cave. Go read that allegory. It completely explains the human condition, because the people in that cave they're facing the cave wall. They're interpreting shadows on a wall as reality, when reality is actually more expansive than they realize, because they've been trained to see their reality, interpret their reality from the shadows on the wall. And that is humanity. That is humanity right now. And so in this time of increased visibility and acceleration, you need to pay attention to what's going on. It's why I kind of wanted to make a third video about, hey, during this time, in the same way, go back and see those other videos. You can just kind of listen to them as you're going about your time, if you're on a walk or something like that. It's something that's digestible, but I've given you a ton of information that people who are into astrology, tarot, future prediction, intuition, and all of that, you can just listen to them, because I must apologize. I'm not presenting the information in a way that is visually pleasing, right? And I kind of talk about why I do what I do, because future and prediction and intuition are moving into a space in which authenticity is required, or you're going to be outed. Yeah, authenticity is required. So I'm kind of doing a pared down version. I'll do this again, and I think I'll reteach this in shorter snippets. But I want you to be on the watch. I've been telling you guys for over a year now. Be on the watch for you to see phenomena that you were taught was supernatural, and that angels with wings and demons, spiritual. I want you to watch now that you are able to see phenomena that has been interpreted in a very specific way, and you will be given the ability to see the truth of it if you will take the time to perceive it. So good luck, and just be open to it. And then come back and tell me what you saw.